now? Now? All right, good. Also, I don't see anybody from YouTube in the chat. Is it running on YouTube? I've been having all sorts of technical difficulties today. It's been really annoying. I'm like, ugh, my internet wasn't working, and I was like, had everything set up, and then my internet was like, sorry, Ethernet. And they're like, it's plugged in. I don't understand. Anyways, hey, good to see you, PJ. I got your email. I'm gonna respond to you like probably tomorrow. So, all right. Anyways, let me just double check because YouTube is streaming because I'm not seeing. This is so annoying because the restream should be giving me. I'm not seeing. Yeah, the mega chat. I'm not seeing their comments in the chat. Jasper 8 Finn, thank you. Oh, and Igrodin, I saw you. Here you go. And then YouTube is about the comments aren't merging. Yeah, that's what I'm like. It's weird because, last time I did this and it just worked perfectly. And now I'm doing it and it's like, nope, sorry. And you're like, why? Technical difficulties are a sign of an awesome stream. Well, that's great because we have awesome streams here every week. I guess I could just I guess I could pull up the chat, but let me see if it's in the other thing too, because I did pull up the restream thing. Yeah, I'm not seeing anybody from YouTube over here. I don't know why it's not working. It's very strange. It's very strange. Let me see here. Let me go to my oh, did I post in the wrong thing today? I think I did. Fuck. Oh no. Dang it. I think I fucking posted in the wrong fucking thing. All right. Let me, I'm trying to, for YouTube people who are watching, I'm trying to go so I can see your comments on my phone so we can just kind of do it the old fashioned way. Here we go. Yes. Okay, there we go. I see you. Yeah, it's like, and that's really annoying too because my mini feed will tell me if I have super chats, but because it looks like the Twitch thing is going over there, but maybe not. I hear on YouTube. Okay. All right, I see your comments. Yeah, my YouTube chat. It's not merging. I don't know why. But that's fine. I'll just have your chat right here so I can see. So yeah, that'll be good. I know we've got two worlds, Urus and Anaris, YouTube and Twitch. We've got two worlds at once. I know I got an Anaresti chat box over here. That's funny. Yeah, you guys can duke it out over who's Urus and who's Uranasti. That's really funny. It's really funny. All right. But hey, what's up, Beast Slayer? What's up, Raimi? Yeah. Let's see here. Don't be hateful, Eric, on the YouTubers. We love the YouTubers. We want the YouTubers because then hopefully they'll come over and then they'll make the conversion. And then you wonderful, beautiful people, you beautiful beings who are on YouTube will come watch the Warriors with us after we're done. Oh, you didn't say thank you. Says, happy Sunday, Danica. Always a good day when I can catch a stream. Have a good week. Well, thank you so much. You didn't say thank you. I'm going to say thank you. So I really appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat and the donation. We love it. We appreciate it. That's probably the most money I'll make for this book club. It's like, I have now made some money on this book club. That's really funny. Well, Ashley, you found my Dune Club necklace the other day, but the string was broken. Yeah. Get a new thing. Oh gosh. Oh, I don't know if you heard my hip pop on that one. So anyways. All right. Well, let's get started then. Let's see here. Let me get situated here. Got my notes. Nice shirt, by the way. Thank you. This is part of my summer cool guy fit look that I'm going for. I've got shorts. I've got, like little colored little bras, and then like little cool guy shirts. Orange is the main theme this year. This summer is like we're doing a lot of oranges, but we're also doing a lot of blues and greens. So it's like orange is the pop color, and then blue and greens. So yeah, I like the pattern too. This is just like a cheap Amazon banger. They're on sale. So yeah, we're heralding. Yeah, we're in summer. Yeah, it's a summer cool guy fit. I got a whole bunch. I got like a bunch of these shirts. I got like 4 of these different types of patterns, and then some different colored, easy, kind of comfy shorts. I got some bright orange Croc sliders. So, all right. Well, let's see here. Yeah, no, I got different hair now. Dev Labs, this is my own natural color. This is my natural color. So, all right, well, let's get into it. I feel like we're ready. Let's get into it. Bertoratos starts off the whole thing asking, so when was the first time you read The Dispossessed? Well, I read The Dispossessed for the first time earlier this year, probably at the beginning of this year, because I was looking for Taoist sci-fi. I was asking ChatGPT. I was like, "Hey, I really want to read some sci-fi, I really like a really good book. What's like a banger sci-fi novel that has Taoistic themes in it?" And this was on the top of the list and recommended The Dispossessed. And so I was like, all right, well, I went on Amazon, looked at the other reviews. Everyone's like, this is a fucking banger. So I was like, all right, well, let's fucking get into it. So I really enjoyed it. I didn't know what to expect, but I had so much fun reading this. Let's start with just doing a little bit of an intro about this book. So The Dispossessed, it came out in 1974. Apparently, the full title is The Dispossessed: An Ambiguous Utopia. And so this book was written during the, the time of all of the Cold War tension that was going on between the United States and the Soviet Union. There was the whole, capitalist versus communists and this whole thing going on. And there's a rising interest in anarchism and alternative social systems, because people are like being confronted with which one's better, capitalism or communism? Which team are you on? And I think the average person can kind of just look and be like, well, both of them sound great on paper. Both of them have issues because human beings are inherently greedy. So it's like, yeah, communism sounds really fucking cool, but it doesn't really work because we have this hierarchical, greedy fucking system. And then capitalism, the free marketplace of ideas, that's cool, but then that also gets greedy and weird, and that one gets fucked up too. So like, is there like a secret third option? What is the secret third thing that we could do? And anarchism is a really fascinating idea of having a society without government. without any government. Fuck your communism and fuck your capitalism, fuck your government in general. So this book very much deals with that, which is really interesting. And so the initial reception of this book was very well received, especially in sci-fi circles. Man, sci-fi, just like mid-century fucking sci-fi. I mean, so good. But this is yeah, and this is a really serious exploration of anarchism. Like, I really haven't read a lot of things, and I know there's other things out there, but I haven't personally read a lot of other things that are really exploring the idea of anarchy and how it would actually function and work, and what it would look like if you had an anarchist system. The only other book I think that I've read, but even then it wasn't they were so small. It wasn't like a whole civilization of people, so it can't really, it's easy to have a non-hierarchical community that's working together when it's like a town size. But when you get bigger than that, it gets really difficult, I feel like. So and this book won the Hugo Award for Best Novel in 1975. It also won the Nebula Award for Best Novel in 1974, and it also won the Locus Award for Best Novel. So winning the Hugo and the Nebula both is a really huge deal. So it kind of means that both the critics and the people really loved this book. And Ursula K. Le Guin is written by a woman. We love that. She was born in 1929 in Berkeley, California. So she's a California girl, of course. The Californians would come up with this. And she died pretty recently in 2018. I mean, it's not too far away, under 10 years ago. And she's the daughter of an anthropologist and a writer. So that is like hugely informs her work as like seeing human beings from seeing our societies or civilizations from an anthropological point of view, having a little bit of distance and like learning that from her parents. And she really focuses on how humans organize society in her stories. Even though it is sci-fi, it's more philosophical. It's less about the technology and more about, I mean, I guess like the technology of government is interesting, but it's not like an actual like hardware thing. But she's also responsible for the Earthsea series, which I haven't read. This is the only Ursula K. Le Guin book that I've read. And also something called The Left Hand of Darkness, which sounds really cool. I have no idea what that's about, but I love the title. And I want to ask you guys, who's read this before? Was it your first time reading this? Or have you read it in the past? And did you like it? Or did you struggle with it? So I'm going to open up the chat to you guys for just a moment before we get into our next segment, and you can tell me how you feel about it. So let me know. Let me look here. Am I a Taoist? I'm not a Taoist, but I have a great respect for the Tao, and I love learning about the Tao. I don't want to, I can't label, I have a real reticence to label myself as anything because I kind of love everything. So, but I think there's a lot of wisdom in the Tao Te Ching. I'm really interested in the Tao and being one with the Tao. Like I feel like I feel like duality is a trap, and the Tao is non-duality. It's non-dual, it's non-dualistic, which I really love. And the yin yang, these little yin yang ears, it's the coolest symbol. I just, as a spiritual symbol, 10 out of 10. Can you imagine being the first human being to draw a yin yang? Do you know what kind of fucking high you'd get? I can't even imagine. It's incredible. Shaknik never read it, just here for moral support. Well, hello. NMB says it's her first time. She really liked it. Loved the nonlinear timeline and the fact that it was written in the 70s by a woman. Well paced and written. Awesome. Let's see here. Let's see here. Yes, I am rocking the mullet now. Bertortos, it was my first time reading it and I loved it. It reminded me of Foundation, so it was an easy read. I like the struggle on the chapter. I like the structure on the chapters, and Shivek was a good protagonist. Until chapter 7, with a little sadness in chapter 8, at least for me. We'll talk more about that later. Speaking of the Tao, we got to watch A Chinese Ghost Story at some point. Okay, remind me of that. I'd like to write that down, but I don't want to take the time right now. So remind me of that later. I want to know more. Charlie, Charlie Drama says I listened to the first half on Spotify. It was pretty interesting, but I got caught up in a dope podcast around the same time. All right, I feel it. It's fine. Let's see, what are the people on YouTube saying? I've read a lot of Le Guin's books, but except the Dispossessed, oddly enough. The Earth Sea series is a must, says Macon89. Sam Martin, rad. I really love this book. I read it when I was a teen, looking for my copy right now. Awesome. Well, welcome back. Get this heart out of the way so I can see. Let's see here. Didn't Ghibli do an Earthsea movie? I don't know. That's a good question. Did they? All right. Well, oh, they did? I haven't seen that. Okay. Yeah, and we are going to have a moment later, because I asked all my people who are on Patreon, who support this independent artist, this local hand-grown organic artisanal streamer content creator, whatever the fuck. I asked them to put their questions and comments on Patreon, so we will be going over those towards the end of this situation. So, all right, well, let's go into our next segment. Let's do a quick plot recap. So this book centers around a man named Shivek. And who is Shivek? He, in my opinion, is a bridge. Shivek is a bridge more than anything. He's a brilliant physicist from Anares who's obsessed with understanding the nature of time. He's an outsider in his own society, someone who genuinely believes in the ideals of his society, in his anarchist, governmentless civilization that he lives in. But he also sees where it's failing, and he also sees the dark side of it. So he's like not drinking the Kool-Aid. He's like, well, I believe in our ideals, but this isn't fucking perfect. Like, we still have stuff we need to work on here, and we're still falling into traps. And because he feels this way, that does make him an outsider. And also the nature of his work make him an outsider. There's not a lot of other physicists on this planet. It's kind of an abstract thing. I mean, there are a few people that he can talk to, but no one's on his level. And he's a scientist trying to both unify time, but also reconcile freedom versus society. And so he, again, is from Anares. So let's take a moment to talk about Anares versus Urus. So Anares is the moon of Urus, and it is a harsh, resource scarce place. It has the anarchist society, no government, no property. They're built on cooperation and shared labor, but it becomes quietly conformist and restrictive to certain members of that society. And what had happened is there was a revolution on Eurus, and there was a bunch of Adonians. So there was a woman who kind of came up with a book or something, and there was a cultural revolution. And so the planet just was like, you know what, we'll just give you the moon. Okay, we're not going to kill you in a revolution. There's too many of you to do that anyways. We'll just pack you up, ship you with some supplies, go up on the moon, do your own thing, just get the fuck out of here. We'll give you the moon. We'll give you the fucking moon. Now, Urus is very much like our world. I mean, there's capitalist, AIO, and then there's kind of more of a communist nation as well. It's very lush. It's a wealthy planet. There's beautiful animals and trees and fauna and flora. But it is hierarchical, and there's a lot of beauty, luxury, inequality, and just the same shit of like, you possess stuff, you have stuff, this is your stuff, this is your wife, these are your kids, this is your jacket, this is your thing, this is your house, this is your land, this is your bank account, this is your money. I love the no money thing in Anaris. I love that shit. That's so cool. Although I do love my shit. I do love my things. So it's like, I'm not going to say, like, I'm not going to front like I don't like my shit. I do. Um, but Anaris is essentially spiritually a free place, but it is materially poor, whereas Urus is materially rich, but socially it is unfree. And Shivek leaves his planet because he feels intellectually suffocated on Anaris. Like, he's trying to unify like time, you know what I mean? Like, he just doesn't, like, there's just nobody over there. And there's a beautiful college on the other side, and they've got lots of people he could talk to, and he just needs a change of environment so that he can finish his work, because he just can't do it where he is. And also, his whole planet doesn't give a fuck about his work. It's like, this work is not putting food in the mouths of our children, and our people. Like, this is so abstract what you're doing. And even when you do figure it out, what the fuck do we want with this technology? Like, what are we going to even do with this? Because they are very much like, we're on our side of the fence, they're on their side of the fence, and like, we don't talk to each other. Like, we're not talking to each other. Like, there's very, very, very little communication between these two planets. And what little communication there is, it's very much like people are watching the communication. So, anyways, so he goes to Eurus. Oh yeah, also too, his scientific work is being stalled and controlled informally by Sabul. He's like a guy who's jealous of how smart Shivek is, and is like trying to take credit for his work, and then like also just trying to like cock block him at every fucking. So he's got to get out of that guy's fucking deal. And this, he lives in a society that claims to value freedom, but they're actually resisting new ideas. They're just like, we got it all figured out. We don't need your new shit upsetting the apple cart, okay? And he just wants to finish his theory, and he wants to share his knowledge freely across the worlds. And by the way, these two planets are just in one system, the Setian system, but there are other systems. So there's like, what is it, two other planets of people? Like, one's like an Earth, and then there's like another one. So anyways, which NMB says, for anyone who's spent time in academia, basically the worst PI ever. It's like, I don't know, man. Academia. It's like, I love the idea of academia, and like having like a little shell where you can go do your research and you teach your students, and then you're doing your thing and you're publishing, but it does sound like a nightmare, like with having to deal with all the other faculty, and then they get jealous and weird, and it's a whole thing. So anyways, he leaves his planet at like, and everyone is, well, not everyone, but a lot of people on the planet are very sus about this. They're like, oh my God, this guy's a traitor. Why would he even go over there? Those people are disgusting. Maybe he's disgusting. Like, there's a fucking riot when he's just trying to get over there. It causes a real big kerfuffle within his society. But he does make it. He gets over there, and when he gets over there, he's treated like a celebrity genius. He won a prize for his work, for his earlier work, so he gets like money instantly, but he's also living within the confines of this really beautiful, elite, kind of Harvard-esque school, and he's given luxury, comfort, status, like all of these things. But then as things progress, he realizes that he's just being used by the elites. They just want his formula. They want to take it from him as quickly as possible, and then they want to capitalize on it. And they want to use it to leverage themselves against the other planets and be like, well, we've got this, so now we're going to commodify it, and now you have to pay us to use this shit. And Shivek is not about that life. And he also, eventually gets to see the extreme inequality on the planet and the exploitation that's going on. He finally gets to talk to the people who are on the lower rungs of society, and he becomes pretty disillusioned. And there's a major turning point when he witnesses and is caught up in a violent political protest movement. And what he ultimately does is, Shivek has his general temporal theory that he's working on. So he completes a revolutionary physics idea about time, which will enable instantaneous travel across space and time. So philosophically, he's trying to reconcile time as being simultaneous and not a linear thing. And he refuses to give his discovery. He's not going to give his baby to this fucking sick culture. These sickos. He's not going to do that. So instead, he finds a way to share it freely with all the worlds. Like, that's his whole deal. It's like, you know what? I want everyone to be talking to each other. We need to stop this whole, like, nobody's talking to anybody thing. And, like, we all need to use this. And, like, nobody's going to use this against anybody else. Like, I can't have that. So he chooses open access over power, over money, over prestige. And so Shivek leaves to find freedom, realizes neither world has it, ultimately tries to create it, not through politics, but through knowledge of this theory that he has created. And the thing that I really am impressed with by this book, the thing that sets this book on another level for me personally, is how the theory, the general, what is it? The general whatever theory that he's working on, no, it's on the other side of this. General temporal theory is reflected in the way the book itself is structured. So it's like, oh, that's so fucking cool. That's so fucking cool. The structure of this book is nonlinear, and it switches between chapters, and half of the chapters are taking place on Anaris in the past, and then half of the chapters are taking place in the present on Eurus. And they're all like going back and forth. And so the Anaris past arc is all about Shivek growing up and then getting into physics and then realizing that he needs to go to Eurus. And then the other concurrent present timeline is him in Eurus, and then he completes his thing, and then he goes back to Anaris. And so you have his journey to get to Eurus perfectly mirrors his journey to come back to Anaris. And so you have these two narratives collapsing into one narrative, which reflects exactly what his work is doing. And it feels very disorienting at first for the reader, but it really mirrors Shivek's universe and experience. And you're constantly comparing these two worlds in your head and these two timelines. And the idea that, like, and this whole thing is just reinforcing the idea that separation is an illusion. So it's just like, and this is also an attempt to connect two worlds that seem divided, but they're not. And it's just like very fractal, like fractal cosmology, where it's like, the fractals, where they just get smaller and smaller and smaller and bigger and bigger and bigger, but it's the same thing over and over. It's the same fucking pattern, where it's like, if you look at what an iris looks like, and then you look at, what a nebula looks like or some shit, and it's the same thing. You're like, why, why does the universe and its connections look the same way as like our neurons in our brain and the clusters of those? So it has like that whole fractal cosmology thing going on, which is very sexy. And it also talks about the block universe theory, which is also very sexy. I really love the block universe theory. This is something that Alan Moore talked a lot about in Jerusalem, where we perceive time as linear, as past, present, and future, but in reality, it's already all there and it's happening simultaneously, which brings up a lot of questions about fate versus free will, This is a question that I've been wrestling with for over fucking 10 years. I'll probably be wrestling with it for the rest of my life. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I have it figured out, and I'm like, yes, block universe theory, like, then does that take away choice? And what does that mean if we don't have choice? What does it mean if the future has already happened and that it's already decided? Then we have this, it's a lot to think about. Yeah, the warp and the woof, totally. So yeah, I was really blown away by how, like, I see why this book won some goddamn awards. I was just like, wow, you just reflected the great work of this man within the structure of the book itself. You're a genius. This is so good. The universe is too complex for us to totally understand. That's true, Shinatsky. And that's why I always, like, when I get too caught up in these thoughts and ideas and I start freaking myself out, then I kind of always go back to that Dune quote of the mystery of life is not a problem to solve, but a reality to experience. And that kind of like grounds me and brings me back when I start, because it's like we want to think we have these choices, but then I feel like if it really is, if everything really is all mapped out, then, and there really is no free will, then wouldn't that mean that, like, there's no reason for guilt or shame? And wouldn't that eradicate that? And wouldn't that, if we all felt that way and really realized that, wouldn't that create all this compassion for one another, and it would just again collapse in on itself, and like all these, I don't know, it's a lot. Anyways, we're getting off topic here. We need to get back on my lesson plan. So let's go to the so I just keep thinking, it's just like, they're like, oh, Jesus forgives, God forgives. And it's like, well, maybe there's forgiveness there because it's already been decided, and we really don't have any free will. We really don't have a choice. And so you don't have to go around feeling guilty or bad. And then the whole, like, Egyptians, where it's like, oh, if you go, they weigh your heart against a feather. And if it's heavier than the feather, then you're going to hell. What that really means is, like, I don't know, the guilt and the shame, like, that's the things that like really weigh us down. But then at the same time, it's like, well, if you're doing awful shit, you should feel bad about it, because I don't want you to do awful shit. It's tough. It's tough. It's a tough. That's what I wrestle with. That I wrestle with these fucking concepts. But let's talk a little bit about the themes and meanings of this book. One of them is freedom versus control. So Anaris is, a very free society, supposedly, but also socially very rigid. So they won't tell you have to do something. They don't like, you have to do this. They don't tell you that. Or, they don't have any laws. But at the same time, if you don't do the thing that people are you're expected to do by society, if you don't do the selfless thing, then people will socially outcast you. There will be repercussions through the society. And people will make your life harder, and you'll lose friends, or you'll lose connections, or they'll, ship you off and give you a really shitty job. And Ignat, and shame is about accepting yourself, and guilt is about forgiving yourself. It's a good, wise way to say it. So it's like, whereas Eurus is materially abundant, but very hierarchical. And we're already steeped in that. Like, we know all about that shit. We don't know about the anarchism shit. Like, that's the thing that's very foreign to us. So which one do you think is actually freer? Like, which society where you like, which one would you rather live on? Like, if you had to pick Anaris versus Urus, what would you choose? Would you be an Adonian? Would you be hanging out on AIO? Like, let us know. Let us know in the comments. Oh, this little bean. Send me to the moon, says Fester Monko. Mokno, not Monko. That's pussy in Japanese. Mock, no. I like to own stuff, says Alegna. Yeah. I cannot live in the desert, so unfortunately, Eurus. I know that's the thing. Like, Eurus has like the plants and animals. It's like, can you like? It's not like, oh my god, the moon sounds rough, dude. It sounds rough. What is this? There's something like poking me. The moon sounds rough. That would be really tough. You know what I mean? Yeah, Dr. Manhattan and Watchmen was dealing with the same issues about free will, Attila Kobos. That is true. Bertoritos, it's very difficult to support my fellow woman if I live in Urus. Okay, we'll have to talk about the ladies stuff. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. Remisius Nid, I don't think I would pick either, but I am very curious about the Hainish and their homeworld. Interesting. Yes, yes. Let's see here. What's going on over here on YouTube? Sick shirt, bro. Thank you. Thank you. Man, there's not many people on the YouTubes. Yeah, I'd go to the more chill option, says Charlie Drama. Well, what's the more chill option? Because it's like, I guess it's more chill on Eurus, because that's what we're, like the devil you know versus the devil you don't. I felt really bad for that artist that got fucked over on Anaris. I didn't like that. All women are proprietarians. That is good. Yeah, and I have a bunch of quotes that I want to go over with you guys of things that just like blew my mind. I was just like, oh my god, this is so good. All right, well, let's go on to our next theme and meeting, the individual versus the collective. So, the book talks a lot about Shivak being an outsider in both worlds and the cost of being truly original. And it reminded me of that Avatar episode where he has those two different tribes that like hate each other. And he's like just trying to get them through the woods, or trying to get them through the desert. And they're just being assholes, and it's just like, and then if you support one side, then the other side thinks you're for their enemies. And then if you agree with anything that the enemy say, then they're going to, it's just like, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. And I really like, I don't know. I feel like I kind of identified with Shivak. I feel like I'm like a bridge type person where it's like I really get along with a lot of different types of people and a lot of different, but I don't really belong to any one group. It's just like I just enjoy being a little bee that's like pollinating all the flowers of humans. Where it's like I take a little pollen from this flower, take a little pollen from this flower, take some from over here, mix them up all together and make like a lovely little delicious goo out of it. That's what I like to do. So yeah, PJ, you feel like Shivak in many ways. Yeah, where it's just like, man, I see, the good sides and the bad sides of this thing. I see the good sides and the bad sides of that thing. I should say instead of good and bad, though, I really should, because it's very dualistic language, and I really want to try to get out of that sort of thinking and that modality. So I should say something more about like convenient and inconvenient things about things. There's convenient things and inconvenient things, and just being able to look at things in their totality versus just sipping the Kool-Aid on it. There's also a lot of in this book about idealism versus reality. So you have this kind of utopian anarchical society, but they're very stagnant. Like it's so funny, the revolutionaries become the stagnant ones. And then the systems like that become what they resist. Specifically on Anaris, it's like they're resisting these laws and they're resisting these hierarchies, and yet the more they seem to resist it, then they're just feeding right into it. I mean, it reminds me of that Doom quote, like it's something like we become whatever we resist. What is it? Can't think of the actual quote. I should have written it down earlier. But it's almost as if you need incentives in order to advance. It's like, well, I don't know. Yes and no. It's like I don't feel like incentives are entirely not helpful for people, for sure. But at the same time, like if you've got the spirit and something working through you, like it really doesn't matter what the incentive is, because it's like you're doing the work for its own sake. Uh, which is, but that's not something that everybody maybe has experienced in their life. What's up, Poland? Good to see you, Patrick. We're doing well, just talking about the book. Let me check over to my people on YouTube real quick. Just want to make sure. Societies need people, but people don't always need societies. I like that, Shanatsky. Society is people, but people are not society in the singular. Also, yes. Shanatsky, what we have been trying to figure out forever is what is the best way to run a government society, because by their nature they will fall apart over time. No nation or system has lasted. Well, that's a whole other thing that I think about, is just like this, the cycle of the life cycle, is how like everything has a life cycle. So, but one of the pitfalls of capitalism in particular that I see is this whole like obsession with growth. Every quarter, our company needs to be growing. We need to be making more money every single quarter. Da, 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 da. And it's like, that's impossible. It's unnatural. It's unhealthy. It's an awful expectation to have. And I just think that people who are running companies should understand that every company, and I mean, they do for better or for worse, because like you can't always have, exponential growth for the entirety of your thing. It's like, but there will be times in your company's life where it's a dieback, and it's like, oh, well, your genes just they're just not popular anymore. Some other kind of genes is popular and you're not cool anymore, and you were cool, but now you're not. But then give it 10 years, and if you can hang on, then it comes back around and you're popular again. Like, it's a whole thing. They want growth at all costs, like a tumor. Yes, that's really, Davey, that's a really good way to look at it, for sure. Because I just like, even now, like being back in the South and experiencing seasons for the first time in a long time, like experiencing like seasons, like winter and spring, for the first time since 16 years. I understand the wisdom of seasons and having a human body, and how our human bodies need the winter time of the rest and digest, parasympathetic. You're indoors, you're chilling, you're sleeping, you're eating, you're not moving around a whole bunch. And then in the springtime, you feel the surge of energy when the sun comes out, and then you start like moving more, and da, 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 and it's like you have this beautiful cycle. And then by summer, you're like going, going, going. You're like, fucking all cylinders, firing on all cylinders. And then fall, you start to slow down, and you slow it down, and then you get back into the rest and digest winter. And it's like, okay, so you have 3 seasons of movement and 1 season of stillness. And I think that's really good for a body. Like, I feel like, especially like with working out and stuff, where it's like, oh yeah, like start working out in the spring, work really hard through the summer, start to slow down in the fall, and then give your body like a rest. I'm not saying don't move at all or don't do anything. I mean, you need to obviously move, but you don't have to work as hard. Like just like do more mobility stuff, do more stretching things, less on the build of the muscle and more on the mobility in the joints. Like I feel like that's some real shit right there. But anyways, so then this book also talks a lot about communication and connection, through like language, time, physics. It's all about bridging the separation. Let's see here. And then, yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I want to get into our next segment now. Let me see what time it is. I'm trying to keep time track on here. Okay, we're good. We got an hour left. Just want to talk about some favorite moments and quotes. I'm going to go over my shit, and then we can talk about your shit. It's so funny that a computer chooses the names, baby names on Anaris, and only one person gets to use that name at a time. So it's like Shivak, and then he has that name, and he's the only person on the planet with that name. And then when he dies, it goes back into the computer, and then the computer can recycle it and like reuse it for somebody else, which I thought was really, really interesting. They don't need last names, they don't need middle names, they just have a name, and they're the only person of that name. I thought that was really interesting. I was like, wow, that's a really fucking cool idea. I love that. And I really thought it was interesting how Anaris tries to create love without ownership and children without possession, and how the book and how Ursula feels about that. Because she's like, well, in a truly anarchistic society, you would not be encouraged to have a marriage. You would not be encouraged to choose one partner and settle down. You would not be encouraged to raise your children in a nuclear family unit. Like, it would be more of the village raises the child. And I thought that was really interesting, seeing their society and how they dealt with sex and relationships and children, and how Shivak is just like, I get it, but like, fuck that. Like I'm like, me and Takvar, we're in it to win it. I love my fucking kid. I hate my mom who didn't fucking raise me. She's a fucking bitch. Rulog, get the fuck out of here, you fucking bitch. Like it was like, I really enjoyed that area of it. I thought it was really cool. It does, yeah, it is. If you have an ugly name, I know it sucks because, well, most names were ugly. That was something that I was like, okay, I love the name thing in Aris, but like, can we make prettier names? Like, can we make more beautiful words than Shevek, Takvar, Rulog? Like, you can't come up with something prettier than that. But it's also too, like, their names don't mean anything. Like, all of our names have a meaning. Like, they all mean something, unless you have a straight up made up name. But their names are just like, nope, like there's no meaning attached to it. It's just some letters arranged, and they're generally 6 letters or whatever, and it's just 2 syllables, and it's easy to say, and like, you just get what you get. And I thought that was really, really interesting. So, hey Matthew, thanks for coming to hang out. Let's see. I also do love the idea, like on Anaras, where you're just like, oh, I just need to go get some shit. So you just go to the depot, and you just check in. You're like, hey, I need some rope. And they're like, okay, you go to the rope section. And you just get your rope and you walk out and you don't pay for it. I love that. I love the scene of Shivek throwing up all over that platter of food when he got too drunk at Via's party. Via's party scene was like incredible. I really love Via's party scene. And then her like boobies are out. And then he's like getting horny, and he like goes on her dress, and then she's like, "You ruined my skirt," and like, he throws up on the platter. I thought that was like an incredibly chaotic, wonderful scene. I really enjoyed it. Well, let's get into some of my favorite quotes from the book. I've got a bunch of stuff here. I'm just gonna read some of these fuckers out loud because I was underlining this book like a motherfucker. It's real. Oh, this is page 57. It's real. I can call it a misunderstanding, but I can't pretend that it doesn't exist or will never cease to exist. Suffering is the condition on which we live, and when it comes, you know it. You know it as the truth. This is a very Buddhist passage. Of course, it's right to cure diseases, to prevent hunger and injustice, as the social organism does, but no society can change the nature of existence. We can't prevent suffering. This pain and that pain, yes, but not pain with a capital P. A society can only relieve social suffering, unnecessary suffering. The rest remains, the root, the reality. All of us here are going to know grief. If we live 50 years, we'll have known pain for 50 years. And in the end, we'll die. It's the condition we're born on. And it's the condition we're born on. I'm afraid of life. There are times I am very frightened. Any happiness seems trivial. And yet, I wonder if it isn't all a misunderstanding, this grasping after happiness and this fear of pain. Instead of fearing it and running from it, one could get through it and go beyond it. There is something beyond it. It's the self that suffers, but there's a place where the self ceases. I don't know how to say it, but I believe the reality, the truth that I recognize in suffering as I don't in comfort and happiness. and that the reality of pain is not pain if you can get through it, if you can endure it all the way. And somebody disagrees with him, and his homie backs him up, and it says, love's just one way, one of the ways through, but it can go wrong and miss. Pain never misses. And I was like, damn, that's hard. That goes so hard. Damn. Let's see here. Also, Shivek is an ascended master. I love Shivek. Like he's like the coolest protagonist. He's like one of the coolest, most interesting protagonists I've ever read, like, to be really honest with you. And when he's talking to that asshole, Sabul or whatever, he's arguing with this guy. Well, this guy's trying to argue with him and like trying to like fuck with him, and he knows it, but he just will not engage on that level. And it says, his gentleness was uncompromising. Because he would not compete for dominance, he was indomitable. That's very Taoist. I love that. I was like, oh, because he would not compete for dominance, he was indomitable. And I was like, fuck, how can I fucking bring that into my life? Like, that's so good. Shinatsky says, to me, political power is like sewage. You can't do without it, but it's not something you want to approach, from Yang Wenli. That's a good one. I know, cannot be corrupted because he's incorruptible. Yeah, I mean, Shivek is like, he's on some real shit. This one, I love this. This one, I was like cracking up. I was like, this is me. This is me. He tried to read an elementary economics text. It bored him past endurance. It was like listening to someone interminably recounting a long and stupid dream. He could not force himself to understand how banks functioned and so forth, because all of the operations of capitalism were as meaningless to him as the rites of a primitive religion, as barbaric, as elaborate, and as unnecessary. In a human sacrifice to deity, there might at least be a mistaken and terrible beauty. In the rites of the money changers, where greed, laziness, and envy were assumed to move all men's acts, even the terrible became banal. Shivek looked at this monstrous pettiness with contempt and without interest. He could not admit that, in fact, it frightened him. But it's just like, God, anytime someone's trying to explain some fucking economics or some banking bullshit or some insurance fucking bullshit or whatever fucking scam, fucking number scam, crypto scam, whatever the fuck, it just makes me, it bores me to fucking tears. And I'm just like, this is all just so stupid. This is so fucking stupid. I hate it. Like, someone was trying to explain to me about, oh, futures and fucking, you know, in the stock market. And I was just like, this is all a fucking scam. It's just a big scam. God damn it. So anyways, moving on. I love that one. I was just like, yes, Shivek, I understand how you feel. I don't want to know about this shit either. I hate it. Let's see, on page 131. Wasn't it Odo who said that where there's property, there's theft? To make a thief, make an owner. To create crime, create laws. That was from The Social Organism. And it's like, yes, very Tao. Very Tao. Like, that's like straight out of the fucking Tao Te Ching. I should try to find it. I have my little Tao Te Ching somewhere. Where is it? I got it right here. It's like, I feel like maybe I could find it real quick. Because there's just like, yeah. Therefore, the master says, I let go of the law and the people become honest. I let go of economics and the people become prosperous. I let go of religion and people become serene. I let go of all desire for the common good, and the good becomes common as grass. You know, and you're just like, motherfucker. It's really good. Really good. Really well done. It's just knocking my socks off. I really like this one on 155. What drives people crazy is trying to live outside reality. Reality is terrible. It can kill you. And given time, it certainly will kill you. The reality is pain. You said that. But it's the lies, the evasions of reality that drive you crazy. It's the lies that make you want to kill yourself. You know, it's just like, oh, love it, print it, ship it. It's the cognitive dissonance, you know, it's like that makes you want to kill yourself for sure. Let's see here. I really like this. Okay, so Takvar is living with Shivak, and he's a creator, and she is living with someone who's like a highly creative individual. And she says, Takvar, like any man or woman who undertakes companionship of the creator spirit, did not always have an easy time of it. Although her existence was necessary to Shivak, her actual presence could be a distraction. And let me skip forward. On days when he had no classes, when she came in, he might have been sitting at the table for 6 or 8 hours straight. And when he got up, he would lurch with fatigue, his hands would shake, and he was scarcely coherent. The usage the creator spirit gives its vessels is rough. It wears them out, discards them, and then gets a new model. And it was just like, yes. Like the spirit just grabs you. And there's nothing you can do about it sometimes. And then like your whole life you can't do, like you have all these other plans. You're like, nope, I just have to do this thing, I guess, right now. And then you just like put this thing out and it just comes through you. And it's just like this very like disorienting process. And then you just feel rough afterwards, and you're not even taking care of yourself, and you just get in that mode and you're just like, we're just making right now. And it's really interesting. And I like seeing someone else, like from somebody else's perspective of living with someone who's like that. Which one on here? Use perfectly aware. Oh, here. Okay, again. This is also about being a creative person. And this one I feel like I'm in right now. Like I feel like I understand exactly. Like I understand this 100%. He was perfectly aware that he had the same low moods and intimations of failures in the periods just before his monuments of highest creativity. He found himself trying to encourage himself with that fact and was furious at his own naivete. To interpret temporal order as casual order was a pretty stupid thing for a chronologist to do. Was he senile already? But it's like that when you're making something and then you're like stuck, and then you're just like, oh God, am I even going to be able to do this? Am I going to be able to create it? You have to create is to confront despair. Like, because there's just always not always, I guess I shouldn't say always, but there's a lot of times there comes that time when you're in the middle of the creation act and you're just like, fuck, what am I doing? Have I fucked it up? I don't know. Can I even do this? Did I even have talent to begin with? Like, and then you break through, and then it like starts working again and coming through you, and you're like, oh, why was I so worried? This always happens every time. It's like part of the cycle of creation is you have to have the doubt. The seed of doubt has to germinate at some point during it. Let's see here. What else we got? Oh man. Okay. So when he was talking to Via, when they were going on their first little date and they were hanging out, and he's asking him about how men and women work, and like, isn't she bummed about how all the men do everything and that they're just kind of property for these men? He says, I want to know, is an Erasti woman content always being inferior? And he asks, what is it that you guys do? And she says, well, we run them in, of course, and it's perfectly safe to tell them that because they never believe it. They say, ha ha, funny little woman, and pat your head and stalk off with their medals jangling, perfectly self-content. And then I was just like, okay, yes. And then I know the body profiteer shit was so good. NMB, like that is one page before it. He calls her a body profiteer, women who use their sexuality as a weapon in a power struggle with men. To look at her, Via was the body profiteer to end them all. Shoes, clothes, cosmetics, jewels, gestures, everything about her asserted provocation. She was so elaborately and ostentatiously a female body that she seemed scarcely to be a human being. She incarnated all the sexuality the Ioti repressed in their dreams, their novels and poetry, their endless paintings of female nudes, their music, their architecture with its curves and domes, their candies, their baths, their mattresses. She was the woman in the table. And it's just like, oh, so well done. But anyways, but the moment when he says to her, she's like, why am I dangerous? Because he calls her dangerous. And he says, why? Because you know that in the eyes of the men, you are a thing owned, bought, and sold. And so you think only of tricking the owners and getting revenge. And I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, like, oh, like as a woman, I felt that. Like, as someone who's been a body profiteer, as someone who has been a body profiteer, and as someone who lives in this society, I was just like, oh my God, it's just the truth bombs. It's a truth nuke. It was a truth nuke. So fantastic. Really well done. What else we got here? And then here's the thing about the block universe. Well, we think that time passes, flows past us. But what if it is we who move forward from past to future, always discovering the new? It would be a little like reading a book. You see, the book is all there, all at once, between its covers. But if you want to read the story and understand it, you must begin with the first page and go forward, always in order. So the universe would be a very great big book, and we would be very small readers. I was like, yes, love it. Fuck yeah. Also, there's a Muad'Dib thing in here, because I was thinking about the Kwisatz Haderach, where he was like, he had been groping and grabbing after certainty as if it were something he could possess. He had been demanding a security, a guarantee, which is not granted, and which, if granted, would become a prison. It's like, well, that's what happened to Muad'Dib. That's what happened to Paul. He got the guarantee, he saw the future, but it became a prison. And it just like drove him insane. And it's like, oh, very good. Oh yes, that's very good. Do quotes. And then let's see here. Let's see here. All right, no, I don't like this one. I don't know why I flagged that one. Okay. I did like there was a part where he says the right of the Adonian individual is to initiate action harmless to others. And that's like, I love a victimless crime. I love a victimless crime. Where you're like, I'm just going to do something. It's not going to hurt anybody else. It's fine. You know, like I can do whatever I want as long as I'm not hurting other people or myself, you know, like it's like that's how I feel. Where it's just like you see the signs like no trespassing. It's like I'm not going to do anything bad. I have to get from one place to another place, and I'm not an evil person. Just let me trespass on your land. Like it's a victimless crime. I'm just trying to take a walk, or I'm just trying to like get one place to the next place. I like this one. This one kind of reminded me of Krishnamurti's Freedom from the Known. For we each of us deserve everything, every luxury that was ever piled in the tombs of the dead kings. And we each of us deserve nothing, not a mouthful of bread and hunger. Have we not eaten while others starved? Will you punish us for that? Will you reward us for the virtue of starving while others ate? No man earns punishment. No man earns reward. Free your mind of the idea of deserving, the idea of earning, and you will begin to be able to think. That's cold. That's so good. Oh, it's really good. I'm wrestling with that right now. I'm just like, God, this whole I just think about all the bargaining I do with myself every day, and it's just fucking insane. You know, it's just like, what is all of this fucking bargaining constantly? Well, if I finish this, then I'll reward myself with a little thing here. Or if I don't do this and I don't get it done in time, I'm like, I'm gonna be down on myself and hard on myself and kick myself, and you know, it's just like, what is all this shit? It's really annoying. So anyways, those are some of my favorite things from the book. Let's go to the people on Patreon and see what they said about their favorite stuff in the book, and then we'll take some stuff from you guys who are in the chat. So anyways, let me go to Patreon. Let me check out my Patreon posts here. Let's see here. Let me scroll down. All right, let me find it. Okay, here we go. Let me look at the comments. See these comments. Big B Wolf says, no man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he is not the same man. Very zen. I like that one, Big B Wolf. That's very Alan Wattsy. That is a banger. Richard S. says, I'm halfway through the audiobook. I'm fascinated by the chapter about prison. It's only boys and not girls. Boys by nature want to tough things out, be the first, be cruel and outright competitive. How would girls handle prison? That is really interesting because it is just like some boys that are playing with each other and they're like, we're gonna play prison today, and we're gonna put one of us in prison and try to scare them with prison because there's no prison on Anaris, which that makes sense. It would be boys that would do this, like little boys. They would be more interested in this than little girls. Because little girls, they're not to say there aren't any cruel, weird little girls, but generally speaking, like they're not as interested in something. Yeah, dominance grotesquely fascinated them. And it's like women generally aren't just like naturally geared for dominance like that. And so how would girls handle prison? I mean, I don't know exactly what you mean, like I don't know if they would leave him in. Like, I don't think the girls would leave the other girl in there for so long, because the boys did leave that other boy in there for a minute, and the boy like really freaked out. And I don't think they would have been. I feel like they would have checked on her sooner. They wouldn't have been able to do something like that. It wouldn't have gone as hard. I don't think they would have been as cruel about it. PJ finished it with 1.5 hours to spare. Great book. I think there are some nice parallels to be made with Dune. Agreed. On that front, Dune is a very masculine, philosophical sci-fi with large emphasis on conflicts of violence between factions, with characters so lofty they sound as if they shit marble. The Dispossessed is much more introspective, diplomatic, realistic. A few more observations and questions. It is revealed some chapters into the book that Odo was a woman. Were you surprised by that? My preconceived expectations were somewhat subverted, as I associated the name Odo with a male character. Yes, same, from Deep Space Nine. But I also felt silly for assuming some revolutionary hero was a guy. I like that subversion, because I also did assume it was a man at first. And I was like, oh, that's awesome that it's a woman. Like, that's really cool. One important aspect of the book is that even anarchist societies without rulers and laws end up having bureaucracies and people in positions of decision and power. They find ways to own things and control them using secrecy, because knowledge is dynamite. Any thoughts on that? And it's like, yeah, I mean, it's just humans are hierarchical by nature. Like, there is always that grasping for power that we have. Like, it's just ingrained in our DNA. And I think it is somewhat natural, that thing that's in there. And so I wasn't surprised to see, I was glad to see that they had that on Anaris, because if she hadn't illustrated that, then it would be like, well, these people aren't human beings. Like, there's only so much of it that you can repress out of people, but bureaucracies are still going to bureaucracy. And I was happy to see that, and I was interested to see how it worked over there, like how people try to get away with it. I thought that was really fascinating. Because, yeah, if it hadn't been in there, it wouldn't have been believable. Let me get some more. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. I read this book a while ago by Howard Bloom called The Luciferian Principle, and it really talks about the hierarchy thing that humans have. And it was really a fascinating but also kind of bleak and depressing book. But also, I'm glad that I read it. But also, it was like, God damn. It was just like, oh no. And there's stuff in that book that, some people would be kind of bummed on. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I see where he's coming from. Like, I'm not saying he's right or wrong, but I do see what he means. PJ goes on to say, anyone who's been in academia has known a few Sabuls. Sabul had ceased to be a functioning physicist years ago. His high reputation was built on expropriations from other minds. How many in academia have been expropriated by such characters, particularly how many women by male peers? I mean, especially back in the day, for sure. I mean, it's like now it's better than it. Now is the best time it's ever been. But back in the day, I mean, probably the only way you could get published was if you put a man's name on it. And you'd probably have to make alliances with some of them, or some of them would just straight up take your ideas, or they would woo you into it and say they're going to give you more credit than they actually do in the end, and then you get fucked over. But I mean, but it's also not like these guys are going to do that to anyone, like male or female. So it's like I wouldn't take it so personally as a woman, because these people are interested in propping themselves up on it doesn't matter who it is. If you're a man with a good idea, or a woman with a good idea, or a toddler with a good idea, like they're going to steal it. And with all that is happening in the Middle East, this quote from page 285 resonated with me. He simply had not understood that the purpose was to enable men with machines, guns, to kill unarmed men and women easily and in great quantities when told to do so. He could only see, or he could still, or no, only he still could not see where courage or manliness or fitness entered in. I gotta say, I do identify with Shivak a lot, smart and theoretical, but shy and not wanting to play politics. Though I hope not to be as naive as he is for much of this book. But yeah, I loved it when he was at the party and he was talking to them. He's like, what makes a man want to go to another country and kill strangers? And they're like, they're soldiers. What are you talking about? Like, they're soldiers. And he's like, no, that's an abstract idea. Like, the idea of a soldier is an abstraction. What the reality of the situation is there is a man going to a foreign place and killing a stranger. Why would anyone want to do that? And I feel the same way. I'm just like, I know, it's like, why would you want to do that? Like, I love that he brings it back to reality. Last observation, to explore is to return. Without return is to go on adventure. I like that. By the end of the book, Shivak is not quite home, and we do not know his fate, but it is hopeful. In a way, one can never go home, but you can return to where you started. And I'm sure you can elaborate on the arrow of time versus the cycle. Again, really fun book. Thanks for pushing me to finally read some Ursula K. Le Guin. And now I have a month to read The Left Hand of Darkness for another Patreon account I support. Well, awesome. Well, let me know how The Left Hand of Darkness is. I'm in the middle of a couple of other books right now, so I don't have time for it. But let me know when you read it if you think I would like it or not, because I trust you that you would know whether I would like it or not. All right, let's keep going. Nicole Was says, I'm sorry, this is going to be a long one. So many good quotes and topics in the book, but the one aspect that really stood out to me was Shivak's internal, and often with his peers, external struggle between what is deemed the collective obligation versus expectation of his anarchist socialist society and his own drive and need for individual purpose. Shivak is raised in a culture that rejects ownership, but he is deeply committed to his ideas and the search for a scientific truth that no one else could truly understand or help him with. Therefore, he solitarily retreats into his work, becoming a sort of hermit, which deeply upsets him because in Anaresti society, solitude equates with disgrace as it is not seen as functional to communal living. We often see Shivak deeply disturbed by this internal contradiction, but we also see him start to rationalize his actions too as he slowly but surely realizes their necessity within his society. While Anares equates isolation with selfishness, for Shivak it becomes necessary for creativity and scientific discovery, and he is proud of the type of freedom it gives him. This reflects a key theme in the book. Society built on freedom can still impose invisible pressures to conform. Also, his individualistic need to be left alone becomes stronger under restriction on Eurus, suggesting that true contribution to society comes from freely chosen self-directed work. Oh, I love freely chosen self-directed work. That's my favorite kind. Le Guin emphasizes that moral choice and change originate in the individual mind, not the system itself. One still has to make the choice. In this sense, Chevek's journey is not actually a rejection of a society, but more of an attempt to restore its original revolutionary spirit. Yes. It almost feels like at first he treats his ideas like property, like on Eurus, but then realizes they can still belong within and contribute to a truly socialist system. I love this about the book because so often many people are afraid to contradict what they are hardwired to believe. But Le Guin is so poetic in her contradictions. The whole book is based on them, which is the whole point, or no, which is the whole other discussion point, the yin versus the yang, and how things are often neither and both at the same time, just like time. And she goes on with supporting quotes. Chevek had learned something about his own will these last 4 years. In its frustration, he had learned its strength. No social or ethical imperative equaled it. Not even hunger could repress it. The less he had, the more absolute became his need to be. He recognized that need in Adonian terms as his cellular function, the analogic term for the individual's individuality, the work he can do best, therefore his best contribution to his society. A healthy society would let him exercise that optimum function freely in the coordination of all such functions, finding its adaptability and strength. I also love that quote, Nicole. I also like underline that, and I thought about putting that in my thing, and I'm glad you put it in there because I didn't want to talk about it. And I couldn't feel more like this. You know, again, it's like, I was just like, yes, yes. Like, that's what my Patreon does. You know, like all you wonderful, beautiful beings who support the Patreon or buy merch or, you know, send a super chat or whatever, you know, get a sub or a gift sub. It's like, I just feel like you guys are really supporting me to be able to do the work that I feel like I do best for the society, you know, which is like, but it's self-directed and it's very individualistic. And so I'm really like, I'm very thankful and very grateful for you guys. So thank you for allowing me to be able to do that, because I don't think that most people ever achieve anything near that. But I couldn't do it without you, you know, like you guys really have been so awesome. So thank you. Her next quote: sacrifice might be demanded of the individual, but never compromise. For though only the society could give security and stability, only the individual, the person, had the power of moral choice, the power of change, the essential function of life. The Adonian society was conceived as a permanent revolution. The revolution begins in the thinking mind. I do like the permanent revolution over there. I think it's really well done. And he's the true Adonian. Like, Chevek is the true Adonian. He's more Adonian than the fucking people who are professing to be like the blah, 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 you know. The duty of the individual is to accept no rule, to be the initiator of his own acts, and to be responsible. Only if he does so will the society live and change and adapt and survive. We are not subjects of a state founded upon law, but members of a society founded upon revolution. Revolution is our obligation, our hope of evolution. The revolution is in the individual spirit, or it is nowhere. It is for all, or it is nothing. If it is seen as having an end, it will never truly begin. We can't stop here. We must go on. We must take the risks. Also very Taoist. Really love that quote as well. And no one will not go as far as I'm willing to go has any right to stop me from going. Shivak answered. No one who will not go as far as I'm willing to go has any right to stop me from going. And it's like, yes, bitch. Yes, I think that's incredible. It's a really good quote. Just so many bangers. I mean, it's just like this fucking book is just filled with banger quote after banger quote. It's just like, I love it. There's just so many things that I've underlined in here. PJ also says, placeholder comment, I'm halfway through, we'll edit when I'm done. Unlike Tolkien, Le Guin did not invent a whole language, but I do love how she explores language and the way it carries values and how it defines how one perceives the world. Being bilingual, it is fascinating how some words have no equivalent in another language, and how some concepts have distinctions in one language but not another. For example, we are told that in Anares, the word for play and work are the same. Then we find out that for Shivek's mom, whom he barely knew, work always came first, but now there's ambiguity. But now there's ambiguity. Was it work or play? Interesting. I do like that she was talking about their language, how they didn't even have words for certain things, because I do feel like that's what I was saying earlier about trying to eliminate good and bad from my vocabulary to rewire my brain to think in a less dualistic way. Because if you have dualistic language, then you're then you're expressing yourself in a dualistic way, which means like you are not living in the totality. Let's see here. Okay, Nicole's got a couple more banger quotes. Each took for granted certain relationships that the other could not even see. For instance, this curious matter of superiority, of relative height, was important to the Eurasti. They often used the word higher as a synonym for better in their writings, wherein Anaresti would use more central. See, that's what that quote is perfectly timed. It just exactly, like it really, your words really do betray your thinking and like how you live and your philosophies and your core essence of like what your beliefs are. I thought the author explored these principles of language really well regarding how each society works. For example, religion, how the Anaresti don't have a direct translation for hell, so they just assume it's working in the shit house or something, which that was really funny, where they don't have the concept of hell, and they're like, what is it? Like, it's like working in the shit house. It's like having the worst job, like, it's just like where you're just stuck and it sucks at that place. That was really funny. Also, thank you, Marquise Jenkins, for subscribing. And Teddy Rubskin, so great to see you live. I'm still not happy about the Harkonnens bald bondage thing. I still like the Harkonnens as evil gingers. I agree, Teddy. And I'm pissed that Alia is not a ginger. And Batoritos has one thing to say. Isn't everyone working? I mean, PJ, everyone does take turns working in the shit house. They all take turns working in the shit house, but they're not eternally in the shit house. Like, there's nobody who just works in the shit house, unless they really wanted to. I mean, unless you just really wanted to work in the shit house and you were into it, they would let you work there, I'm sure, as long as you wanted, probably. Vitoritos says, one thing that made my reading a bridge with Dune Club and later my introduction with Asimov's Foundation is many of the quotes Shivek and the narrator highlight, like this one is my favorite. He could not rebel against his society because his society, properly conceived, was a revolution, a permanent one, an ongoing process to reassert its validity and strength. He thought one need only act without fear of punishment and without hope of reward. Act from the center of one's soul. Also very Taoist, also very Zen Buddhist, like also really good. Just fucking banger after banger. Hey, Quinn, it's so good to see Quinn Ideas in the chat. What's up? We're talking about the Dispossessed. Quinn says, hey, I love this book. Ursula K is so amazing. I also love Left Hand of Darkness and Earthsea. Have you read the word for word? Word for world is forest. No, I have not. Right now I'm in the middle of fucking, well, I can't, right now I'm in the middle of reading fucking Infinite Jest, which is this fucking big. So, and then I also just got Saint Young Men, and it's like a buddy slice of life, like cute little comic about Buddha and Jesus living as roommates in modern day Japan on vacation. So they like both, they were up in the higher realms and they were granted some vacation time and they decided to go be roommates down in Japan. And so this is about their stuff. So that and Infinite Jest, that's on my reading list right now. But I have recently read The Har by David Sodergren. Incredible, super fun. Really great horror novel. It's super thin. It's super easy to read. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cute. And then also I just finished Savage Detectives by Roberto Bolaño. And tomorrow I have a book club at the bookstore about this one. So reading is, I'm so glad I'm back into reading, guys. It's really helping my focus. It's really helping with the brain rot. I don't know about you guys, but if how you're dealing with the brain rot, but I know like I'm perpetually online. Like it gets to be too much. And it's good to read a book. It really helps with the brain rot. Um, let's see. PK Mega Lolcat says, Blarg, what do that says of my thoughts? What? Excuse me, what, sir? What do that says of my thoughts? Okay. I don't know how to respond to that. Yeah, being offline reading on paper, it really helps with the brain rot. But yeah, if you have any favorite quotes, Quinn, please throw it up. Throw it up. We'd love to read it. Let's see here. Have I read Crime and Punishment or the Brothers Karamazov? I haven't, but it's on my list. The Brothers Karamazov is something I really do. I haven't done any Dostoevsky, but I'm looking forward to it, and it's on my list this year to like get into some fucking Dostoevsky for sure. Absolutely. I think the joke is notice me, senpai. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Did I miss anybody else? Try and make sure I didn't like miss any of the super chats. Tolstoy is great too. I haven't read any Tolstoy either. Godless Monkey. Have I read The Metamorphosis of Prime Intellect? I have not. And then Quinn was talking about some book that was really scary that scared the pants off of me. Just him talking about it sounds so scary. And I want to read it. I was like, oh, what is that? Oh, that sounds awful. Oh, I have to know more. Which one was it? Which book was that? I like wrote it down somewhere. I took a screenshot of it. Let's see here. Oh, okay, hold on. We got our super chat back. Hold on. I was making a joke based on the idea that or words give away the person that we are. Also, I envy your ability to read that many books. Oh, well, thank you. You read a book, get in that book every night just before you go to bed or in the morning when you wake up. You know, read a little book. I've been having so much fun reading. It's been really good. Let's see here. Metamorphosis of Prime Intellect is quite the mind violation. There was a joke about literature, goes something like English literature is I will die for honor, French is I will die for love, and the Russian is I will die. Yeah. The Russians, man, they're a whole thing. Have you ever read something on matriarchal societies? I remember I read this book, this the what is it? The fifth sacred thing or the sixth? What is it? The the fifth sacred thing by Starhawk. That wasn't necessarily matriarchal, but it kind of was. It was like a utopian, pagan, anarchic matrilinear society or something. It was really interesting. It like takes place in a post-apocalypse. But yeah, the fifth sacred thing by Starhawk is real interesting because it's like you have the people in San Francisco who are like these beautiful pagan, witchy, whatever religion you want, hippie, communal, fucking, utopian society. And then in the South is Los Angeles, and it's the worst, fucking awful. Like they're running out of water, and they need water, so they're gonna build an army, and they're gonna come up with their army. And then in the San Francisco people are like, we don't believe in violence, so how do we fight a war against people who believe in violence with non-violence? And then they have this huge debate on how they're going to accomplish defending themselves through nonviolence. And it's fucking really like interesting. Like, it's really weird, and it gets super out there. Oh my gosh, anonymous gifter, thank you so much for all these subs. Oh my god, it's raining subs in here. 20 subs. Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate you, anonymous gifter. Incredible. Everyone say thank you for the anonymous fucking gift subs. Yeah, it was interesting. I had this kind of like, I don't know if she was pagan or not, but or Wiccan or whatever, New Age. I don't know what she was, but she was like a she was like a lady doctor for at the free clinic, free lady doctor clinic. And so every year I would go and I would get my lady bits examined to make sure everything's good. And she would like give me a book recommendation for a few years. Like one year it was Mists of Avalon, another year it was The Fifth Sacred Thing. But then something happened, and I guess their funding got cut, and then they stopped doing the free lady doctor part. They just started doing only the free therapy for women who had, you know, dealt with like sexual assault and stuff. So, but I was always so sad. I was like, oh, where did Marion go? I hope she's doing well wherever she is, because she had great book recommendations, and she really made me look forward. She gave me something to look forward to, because like I don't know. I'm sure there is some freak lady out there who loves going in and getting the doctor thing. I'm sure there's some freak weirdo who's into it. Most women are not into it. It's not something that you look forward to every year. But she gave me a positive thing to look forward to that made me, was like, oh, okay, this isn't just like, oh, I gotta go do this thing that kind of sucks. You know, it's just like, I mean, it's good to have it, glad to have access to it. But at the same time, it's not like, you know, the most fun day out of the year. Like, oh, PJ has a book related suggestion there. The Ambassador from Terra. Let's see her. Oh, is this part of the? Let's talk about the Ambassador from Terra, as this is part of the Hainish cycle. How Eurus to her was like a paradise because there's a lush environment on the planet, regardless of the political system, whereas Earth has gone post-apocalyptic. I thought that was really interesting too, the Terran ambassador. Because it's like humans, like we just fucked it up. We just fucked it up so bad. We screwed the pooch, and our planet sucks now. We're just like, you know, this place isn't perfect, but like, goddamn, at least they have fucking like stuff here. Like, at least there's stuff here. This is pretty cool. We love that. Let me see. Let me look at your comments on the old bloop tube. See what YouTubers are saying. Let's see here. I don't like, Shinotsky says, I don't like a lot of academics because they don't live in the real world. They make depends of things they do not understand, but somehow a degree means they have wisdom on anything. I understand what you mean, because there's a big Alan Watts lecture that I've listened to over and over and over and over again. And in part of the lecture, he talks about the academic world and how we fucked up in making degrees for people. And so it became about getting the degree, and it became about getting the honor of getting this little piece of paper instead of the honor of just like learning the knowledge. It's like when you go to college, he says, like, so if you go to learn French, you learn French not because you just want to get a degree in French. You go learn French because you want to interact with French people. and you want to know more about their culture, you know, and like and you have an interest in these other type of people and you want to have fun with them and be able to communicate. That's why you go to school. That should be why you go learn something, is because you have a genuine interest in it. But because we started giving out awards and honors for people, then, you know, the system got kind of hijacked by that. And so now it's more about getting the degree than getting the fucking knowledge. Um, so oh yeah, NMB. It is a box. Eurus is a box, a package with all of the beautiful wrappings of blue sky and meadows and forests and great cities. And you open the box, and what is inside it? A black cellar full of dust and a a dead man. I like that. That's good. Um, yes, Estevan, the status rather than the actuality. Thank you. That is, I know that you've listened to it too, so I'm glad that you remember what the fuck he said, because I don't remember how to say it right. I love how Shevek was obsessed with all the Eurus wrapping paper. I did too. I thought that was so funny. He's just like, why do they put fucking paper on everything and then a bag and then they put it in more paper and then they put it in another box and then they put it in another bag? He was just like the packaging. And that's something that I struggle with too, because it's like, just packaging is so wasteful in so many ways. But I love it too at the same time. Like I love the feeling of opening the box and the little plastic and then taking it out and the little mug. Like it just the ritual of it is so tasty, but it is really, a lot of it's really unnecessary. So let's see here. What time are we at? Okay, well, we got to start wrapping it up, because in 10 minutes, we're going to go over to Twitch and we're going to watch The Warriors. So for those of you on YouTube, if you want to come over, we're going to take like maybe a 5-minute break or so, and then we'll get into watching The Warriors. I'm really excited. But what did you guys think about Casual Book Club? Do you want to do more Casual Book Clubs? What books would you want to read? Like, let me know in the comments. Do you want to start reading Infinite Jest? And then like in 3 months, 3 or 4 months, we can meet up and talk about it. You know what's really funny to me about academia is when people, so students will get through it, they'll get a degree in it, and then they will literally turn around and get a job teaching it. And that's crazy. Like, that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. It's like, what? You know? Like, what? I don't, like, you're not going to do the thing. You're going to start teaching the thing that you've never actually done. You just learned about doing the thing, but you never actually did it. But now you're going to turn around and start teaching people how to do the thing that you can't even find a job in, that you have no experience in the real world. And now you're going to teach it to other people. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's insane to me. Like, that's totally crazy. Oh, look at this new emote on Twitch. A little emote. That one's really interesting. I think that's creepy. Sam says, hey Danica, I've been a fan for years and did the OG Dune Club. I wondered if you had any recommendations for dealing with the world right now. I'm mainlining Star Trek TNG, wishing for that tolerant world. I think you're already doing the right thing. I think that TNG is a balm to the soul. So I just feel like keep a steady diet of TNG for sure. And then also just find things that just find things that bring you joy and try to do those things. Also, engaging in simple pleasures is also excellent. I've taken up bird watching, which is really relaxing and very chill. You can get an app, the Merlin app, and you can log your birds on there. And also just like listening for birds and like looking for them is just, it just feels, it's like real life Pokemon, but it's very calming. It's very soothing. I don't know if you're in an area that has a lot of birds, but, but that's pretty cool. Um, let's see here. Trying to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Let's see here. See what's going on here on this one. It does sound, it is healing. Listening to birds is very healing. Going on walks too. I feel like, especially like for me, like I'll start getting anxiety about shit and I'll go on a drive through the countryside. But I'm also living in a place with really cheap gas. So I'm like in a blessed situation where I can do that. But for me, driving is really good. It helps ease my anxieties and my neuroticism. Also, taking really long walks, especially like nature hikes, things like that. I'm planning to go to the Dismals next weekend. I'm really looking forward to that. It's this beautiful canyon that I can do a daytime unguided thing. So me and my friend Rudy are gonna go check out that. And then at night they have a guided tour and they call it the Dismals because there's these little worms called dismalites. I think they're like some sort of fly larva or something, but they glow in the dark. And it's one of the only places in the world where they live. So we're gonna do an after the sun sets thing and see the little glowworms. And like that really helps. Like connecting with nature for me has been really grounding. And I know it's such a basic bitch thing to say, but it's true. What do you know, like you don't got to reinvent the fucking wheel. Fire is fire. Like the earth is grounding and healing. I've been doing qigong. I've been like putting my feet on the earth. I've been like hanging out in a creek. Any of that shit, man. It's just like it really helps. Driving in Alabama is not the same as driving in LA, and that would drive me. Yeah, of course. That's why another thing I love about living in the countryside is like I can drive and it's cheap gas and there's like no one on the roads. Like it's really fun. And it's very scenic here. I was just driving up the Natchez Trace the other day. I'm like, fuck, the Trace is beautiful. Because I was like, oh, it's golden hour. I was like, I'm going to take the long way. And I don't care if it's going to give me extra 15 minutes on my drive because I want to drive the scenic Natchez Trace on that fucking on that time. Anyways, let's see here. Everyone should have to do jobs that involves them getting dirty at least once. It does ground you, literally. It does. Gardening is really good. I have my plants. I have a lot of new plants that I'm taking care of. That really helps. The Dismals does sound like a punk band, Wexwerther. It's a cool name. It's like, oh, we're gonna go to the Dismals. And it's like, oh, it's just named after these little glowworms. It's really cute. But yeah, more doctors should prescribe communing with nature, like in the old. Yes, PJ, that's the thing. Since I've been here, because you hear about in olden times, it would be like if you're freaking out, the doctors would prescribe you like go to the countryside for 3 months, go to the seaside, get the fuck out of here, go somewhere else that's chill and pretty in the nature. And it works. Like I'm here to tell you, it works. I feel so much better. Like I feel a lot better. Like, oh my God, I see the truth of it. Like it is real. All right. Well, do I miss the fast life of LA? I mean, yeah, sometimes. It's like I certainly miss my friends. And I certainly miss, oh, there's a lot of restaurants I miss. There's a lot of bars I miss. There's the museums I miss. There's theaters that I miss. Like there's a lot of stuff that I miss, but I don't miss the shitty air quality. I don't miss the high gas prices. I don't miss the traffic. I don't miss the light pollution. There's just so much light pollution. Uh, you know, so They can't charge you for going to the woods. Yeah, I know. But we know to go to the woods. The Japanese call it forest bathing. And I just think forest bathing is real because the trees emanate a field. We emanate a field. And by going through the forest, you're like getting kind of your field is being passed through all the fields of these trees, which are very still and grounding. So that will like cleanse your aura, like your field. Same thing with like being in the ocean. You're just floating in the ocean, the waves are coming through. And it's just like every time you kind of a wave comes through, it's like it just takes more of this detritus that's in your field, just whoosh, cleanses you. That's why I also like driving, because the forward motion, and then you have the windows down, you have the air flowing, you know, and you're moving your body through time and space, and that also cleanses the aura, cleanses the fucking field. We love it. But yeah, all right. Yeah, a lot of homeless in LA, it's depressing. Well, that's true too. I don't miss that. So I don't miss the fentanyl zombies and all that shit. That's also another thing. Not to say there isn't homelessness out here to some degree, but it's not anywhere. Not anywhere near that. So anyways, all right. Well, kids, thank you so much for coming to Casual Book Club. This was really fun. This was a test. I didn't know how this would go, but I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had fun too. And I love reading books. I love reading books with other people. I love talking with you guys about reading books. I think it's super fun. I think it's the antidote to brain rot. One of the many things you can do, and I think we're all feeling it. I know I am. I'm, like I said, terminally online, so I feel it helps with the brain rot and becoming, yeah, it's good. So I'll think about doing another casual book club. I will meditate upon it. Thanks again. We're gonna take a 5-minute break, 5 to 10. I don't know. We'll take because I need to get some snacks and stuff. And then we will watch The Warriors over on twitch.tv/DanicaXIX. So for those of you on YouTube, we'll see you guys later. We'd love for you to come over. It's free. You can make a free little account and just watch along. You don't have to do anything. I play the movie for you. So you see the movie, and then I have a little picture-in-picture at the bottom where you can see me, and then there's the chat on the screen. So you don't have to have the disc. You don't have to I'll say start and press start. You don't have to do any of that. It's really easy. It's already figured out for you. So come hang out if you guys want. We'd love to see you. Oh, and then here's a little bean. Oh, little bean. Here's a little bean. Oh. So yeah, so thanks for hanging out with me, and we'll see you guys over on Twitch. And yeah, I'll see you guys on YouTube at some other point in time. I'm not sure when. But I also just